more example of how it doesn't help you on the left to lie about Hillary Clinton's record. So now the whole trick that the left is trying to do is to say that Bill Clinton didn't sign NAFTA, George W. Bush signed NAFTA, which he did. George W. Bush signed the agreement with Canada and Mexico, but he couldn't get through at Congress. It took a Democrat, Bill Clinton, to get that right-wing, pro-corporate, anti-worker policy through Congress. It took a Democrat. Do you understand? That's the problem. Neoliberals do the work that Republicans could never do. Like NAFTA, like right now, President Obama pushing TPP, like deregulating Wall Street, like making the Bush tax cuts permanent, which even Bush couldn't do, Barack Obama did. And then someone exactly different person, almost the exact same thing. How could prior president sign and successor get it through Congress? The process doesn't make sense. Hey, maybe you guys call David Brock and say, give us different talking points for correct the record. So that's what, this is a concerted effort on the left to misinform people on the left. That's not what we're supposed to do. You can make a mistake. You can get something wrong. No one's gonna kill you for making a mistake. Tell people I'm holding my nose and voting for Hillary, and then we're gonna fight her afterwards. That's honest, and I can, you know, I can respect you. Why would you have a political party and exclude people who want to come be in your party? Why? Because you'd rather risk losing to Trump with someone who the donor class likes than risk winning with someone who's going to upset the apple cart of the donor class. That's what that is. They would rather risk losing with Hillary Clinton to Donald Trump than risk winning with a revolutionary. If you take Trump's name out of it, it's the same argument that they've been making for the last 30 years. That the Supreme Court, gays, taxes, the same thing. Let's remember, it was a Democrat who put George Bush's taxes permanent. It was a Democrat who deregulated Wall Street. It was a Democrat who pushed NAFTA, and now it's a Democrat who's pushing the TPP. So I'm saying that right now, we need a way on the left to vote against Goldman Sachs. We need a way to vote against Wall Street. We need a way to vote against more war. We need a way to vote against fracking and the fossil fuel industry. And right now, we don't have that. I mean, in those two major candidates. So I'm going to vote for the Green Party candidate, Jill Stein.
This is a guy who could get us into the war with the Dutch. You're talking about a lunatic. We're not talking about someone who is just like Mitt Romney. Okay? We're talking about somebody whose response to things is insane, demonstrably insane.
So you think the Iraq War was not insane?
I'm not saying I didn't think the Iraq War was insane.
The person you're telling me to vote for already fully backed an insane war. You knew was insane. I knew was insane. Everybody knew was insane, and everybody knew that the reason why we were going into Iraq had nothing to do with what they were saying. So she already was proven to be irresponsible and start an insane war already. So this is the problem people have with Hillary. That's why it doesn't work anymore this time, this argument. And they go, well, then people go Supreme Court. She already picked Tim Kaine, who's to the right of her. Tim Kaine is right to work, for Christ's sake. And I'm saying that it's not crazy for someone to say we need to create some political space on the left for a third party. And how great would it be if Jill Stein was on that stage? I would say all four of them on that stage. I mean, I think Gary Johnson.
I want to see that
too. Again, he's like half nuts, and half of the stuff he says I love. Let's stop doing the drug war. I think that's great to have them there. You know, they never brought up Citizens United during the debate. They never brought up campaign finance reform. And so I think it would be to have at least one person on that stage who can make that argument. I think it's time. Things are much worse, I think, than people think. And at some point, if someone has an alternate plan on how to break out of this neoliberal nightmare, I would love to hear it, but nobody has another plan. They just say, keep doing what we've always done for the last 30 years, voting for the less of two evil, and that lesser of two evil has gotten way more evil, by the way. Way more evil. And by the way, half the country is now poor. 1 in 4 kids lives in poverty, and 50% of all wage earners earn less than $50,000, and this isn't the richest country in the world. And maybe if she gets 5% now, then the Green Party gets federal funding. So this is what I'm going for, right? And it's time. It's time.
This one election is about who is going to be president come January 20th.
Yeah,
okay?
Right.
That is not going to be Jill Stein. It is not going to be...
So this is the same argument This is the same argument for the last 30 years. And this will be the same argument you're going to make in 4 years. And it'll be the same argument you make in the next 4 years.
If Trump gets into the White House, trust me.
He might start an insane war in Iraq. I mean, you've already admitted that the person you're voting for already started an insane war. You're already admitting that. She's already trying to start the Cold War with Russia again. But Robert F. Kennedy, speechwriter, has already said she's a worse war hawk than him. So
Mike Pence is it fucking insane?
Agreed. Again, I agreed. Hillary started an insane war in Iraq. She called black kids super predators. She gutted welfare at the same time as they ramped up the prison population. I don't know how much worse. You know that Bill Clinton had a secret plan. He had a secret agreement with Newt Gingrich to privatize Social Security. Did you know that? That's a true thing. That's real. Yes, that is real. The guy who deregulated Wall Street. Gutted welfare. Deregulated the telecommunications industry, also had a private plan signed with Newt Gingrich to privatize Social Security, and he even went out and gave a speech about it, and you know what happened the next day? Monica Lewinsky. And that's why we still have Social Security, because of Monica Lewinsky. Because Bill Clinton was ready to sell Social Security down, and Barack Obama, up until 5 minutes ago, was trying to cut Medicare and Social Security. That's called the grand bargain. So it was when the Democrats turned their back on the New Deal and being a Democrat, and they got in bed with the people that are working diametrically. Wall Street is diametrically opposed to workers, Robert. Diametrically opposed. And Bill Clinton sold out their workers and diminished their power forever. And he did it on purpose.
So you think the Trump administration is fine?
No.
I
think they're both horrible.
Compared to a Clinton administration?
No, they're both horrible. They're both horrible.
But you're saying they're both equally horrible.
And I don't know. Who knows? I know Hillary's horrible, and I can't vote for more war. And if you think voting for more war makes things better, that's a disagreement I'm going to have with you. If you think voting for Goldman Sachs makes things better, I'm just going to fundamentally disagree with you, and we have to give people a choice. And if people like you, who I know you agree with Jill Stein more than Hillary Clinton, I know you do. And until people like you feel like you can vote your conscience on the left, we're going to keep getting a shit sandwich. And until people like you and me have courage to break away from these motherfuckers who they're just like George Carlin said, they don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all. At all. At all.
Fuck about you. And so at some point, we have to have a different strategy. So, our Peace Prize guy has bombed 8 different Muslim countries. He continues to drone bomb weddings. He continues to sell arms to Saudi Arabia, and they go bomb innocent people in Yemen. We're still Hillary's dying to bomb more in Syria. Again, I'm going to vote against war. You can vote for more of it. I'm going to vote for less of it.